Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here on True Confessions Naija. Today's story is one that broke my heart as I read it. It's a story of power, regret, and the kind of love story that destroys the very thing it's trying to protect. This is the story of a man from the Democratic Republic of Congo, a man who once wanted to change his country for good, but ended up destroying his own blood in the process. And this is his confession. Good day, Uncle Ori. My name is Kalenga, not his real name. I'm 58 years old, and there's a secret I've carried on my back for over 25 years. A secret that has turned my life into a prison and my nights into horror. I once sacrificed my own daughter, not with a knife, not by hands, but through a promise, a dark spiritual exchange that has now changed her life forever. Growing up, I was a simple man. I worked as a local teacher in my village, one of those teachers who believes change begins with education. I used to gather children under trees to teach them about truth, honesty, and pride in their country. I was loved, I was respected, but somewhere along the line, I became angry. Angry at the poverty, angry at the corruption, angry at how those at the top kept eating while the rest of us starved. I remember saying to my wife, "Marry, one day I will join politics, not to enrich myself, but to save this nation." She smiled that day and said, "If you can do that without losing your soul, my husband, then I'll support you." When the local elections were announced in 1998, I threw myself in. I campaigned with my own money, my own sweat. We would go from house to house, market to market, preaching our message, say no to corruption. People began to listen. They would gather around me after work just to hear me speak. I felt like a savior in the making, a man destined to change history. But soon, power noticed me, and that's when everything began to fall apart. One day, I received a letter stamped with the logo of our ruling party. They wanted to see me at the district office. I was excited. I thought maybe they wanted to include my anti-corruption message in their manifesto. I took my wife with me. We both dressed our best that day. She even braided her hair that night before, saying, "We are going to meet destiny tomorrow." When we arrived, we were led straight to a boardroom. Inside, there was the mayor and another man. I had never seen him before, but I could feel his presence. The air felt heavy around him. He didn't even greet us properly. He just said, "Kalenga, stop talking about corruption. You are becoming too popular for your own good." I laughed nervously, but when he looked up, I saw something dark in his eyes. He wasn't joking. He said, "If you keep talking, you will regret it. Politics is not for clean men. Either you join us the right way or you leave." My wife's hand trembled in mine. When we left that office, we didn't speak for hours. That night, a letter was dropped at our doorstep. It had only one word written on it: death. After that, every week, I would find similar notes. Sometimes a small coffin would be drawn on them. Sometimes a dead rat would be tied to it with a string. Fear began to eat me alive. I couldn't sleep. My wife cried every night, begging me to step down. But sometimes, something in me refused. I had already become obsessed with the idea of leading, of proving them wrong. I told myself, I'm doing this for my people, for my family. But the truth is, I was doing it for pride. One night, my wife said something that changed everything. She said, "If they are using dark powers to fight you, maybe we also need to protect ourselves spiritually." I refused at first. I said I was a man of God, but after another death threat arrived, I gave in. We traveled 3 hours into the forest to see a traditional healer people called Baba Muntu. His compound was filled with strange things, skulls, animal skins, and a drum so big it looked like it could swallow a man. He didn't even ask what was. He just looked at me and said, "You want power, don't you?" I froze. He said, "You want protection. You want people to follow you. You want to win." And I nodded in acknowledgement. Then he told us there was a prize. He said, "I will protect you. You will win. But there is one rule. Your first daughter must never marry. If she does, all that you gain will be taken from you." It sounded simple. At the time, my daughter, Lillian, was only 6 years old. I thought, that's far away. She's just a child. Maybe it won't even matter then. He prepared the ritual. They filled the large drum with herbs, goat's blood, and ashes. They told me to climb in. I remember heat all over my skin, as if fire was under the drum. Then he gave me a small clay pot wrapped in red cloth. He said, "Never open this bag, and your wife must never touch it when she is bleeding. If she does, what's inside will be free." We went home scared, but relieved. I felt strong again. And just as she said, I won the elections that year. Everything changed after that. We moved into a big house. A very, very big house. People respected me. I provided for my family. And I told myself, maybe what we did was not so bad after all. But I was wrong. Very, very wrong. Years later, when my daughter turned 18, something strange happened. A monkey started appearing around our house. At first, only my wife could see it. Then one day, I saw it too. It had human-like eyes that looked like it knew me. Whenever it appeared, it would just stare and disappear again. One evening, my wife came running from the storehouse screaming. She said she had mistakenly touched the red bag while cleaning. When I went there, I saw the clay pot cracked open, and that same monkey jumped out of the window. That was the day our quarrels began. Since that day, only me and my wife could see that monkey. It would come sometimes at night, sit at the door, and stare at us. If we tried to pray, we would hear laughter, a human-like laughter. When my daughter brought her first boyfriend home, that night, the monkey appeared again. He stood by my window and whispered, "She is mine." I woke up sweating, and by morning, I found reasons to discourage her from dating that boy. It became a pattern. Every man she brought, I pushed away, either with lies or with criticism. I told myself I was protecting her, but the truth was, I was protecting myself. Years later, my wife made a terrible mistake. She touched that bag again during her period, and this time, she fell sick immediately. No doctor could explain it. She died within a month. At her funeral, that monkey sat in the tree above our compound. No one else saw it, only me. It smiled. From that day, my life became hell. Sometimes it comes in my dreams. Sometimes I see it walking into my kitchen at night. It eats the food, drinks the water, and then disappears. Whenever my daughter meets a man, it appears again and shows me visions of her with that man. It reminds me, you give her to me, she is my wife. My daughter doesn't know any of this. She thinks I'm just a bitter old man who doesn't want her to be happy. She's 32 now, beautiful, educated, hardworking. She has tried to settle down so many times, But each time she gets close to someone, something happens. The car breaks down on the way to meet his parents. The man loses interest suddenly. Or sometimes she just wakes up and says she doesn't love him anymore. She doesn't know it's me. It's me praying dark prayers to stop her. Because if she marries, I die. One day, she started attending the church. She told me, "Daddy, the pastor says there's a curse in our family." And I laughed nervously. But that night, the monkey appeared again. It said, "If that pastor prays for her, I will kill you both." So I called my daughter and said, "If you are going to church, let me pray with you at home at the same time." She thought I was being a supportive father, but I was actually praying to the monkey, asking it to block the pastor's revelation. Sometimes, when she's in church, she suddenly feels dizzy or sleepy. Other times, the pastor who tries to pray for her begins to feel attracted to her, and the revelation disappears. I have done all this to my own child. There are nights I cry until I can't breathe. I want to tell her everything, but fear stops me. What of if she hates me? What if she leaves and never looks back? What if when I die, there's no one left to bury me? So I keep quiet, and every night, I see the monkey sitting at my window, chewing something, staring at me with those eyes that never blink. Sometimes it laughs, sometimes it cries, sometimes it just whispers, "Your time is coming." If you are listening to this confession right now, please learn from my mistake. Power is a dangerous thing when it is mixed with desperation. I thought I was protecting my family, but I destroyed it with my own hands. To my daughter, if you ever hear this, please forgive me. I did what I did because of love, but it was evil. And to any man listening, never go to darkness to solve your problems. The price is always higher than you think. That is my confession. And now, I live not as a politician, but as a prisoner of my own choices. Maybe one day God will forgive me. Maybe one day my daughter will find a way to break this curse. Until then, I live tormented by a monkey that never stops watching. Dear listeners, right there was a confession from our brother in DRC Congo. If you are touched by this story, share it so others can learn that every shortcut comes with a price. Let's meet again next time here on True Confessions Naija.